Thank you, everybody. Thanks for Monty for the introducing. And I think as extension for the report earlier that I did with my colleagues together, I will share some more information for some Chinese projects with you here tonight. And maybe for a little bit information, if you missed our report earlier today, please kindly check the review of our sharing to get some more information. Okay, for those who might have missed the report earlier, I would go very quick to tell about our cooperation with Chinese partners. In the last 2 years, we have a very intensive communication with our Chinese partners, like the Ministry of Housing and Urban Rural Development, or China Academy of Building Research, or different local design institute, so to say, as well as manufacturers and laboratories or developers. And we offer, sorry?
Maybe you change to presenter mode with your PowerPoint?
Yeah, you see the present mode? I think it's only for me.
No, it's different. You have the other. We see your personal mode.
Ah, okay.
Maybe
so,
you have to change.
Okay, sorry for that.
No,
I mean it's normal right now for you guys.
Yeah,
Carry on.
Okay. So you don't see the notes? Yes,
No.
Sorry. It's only for me myself. Okay, thank you. Okay, I will go on. Sorry for that inconvenience.
No.
So, as mentioned, by the business trip there in China, we visited the projects and the construction site and discussed with the partners for some technical issues. And you may all know that last year we held this International Passive House Conference in Gaobeidian. And earlier in April, I was involved in an online discussion held by China Academy of Building Research for the zero energy building, which Monty just mentioned a little bit. And here you can see the strategy of the building efficiency in building sector for China. This year, China Academy of Building Research published the nearly zero energy building standard with the projects. You can see from the right side, the picture that in 2015, with the projects passive house region with renewable energy, we have already proved that passive house standard can be better as nearly zero energy building. So for this connection and recognition, we keep communicating with our partners in China and try to persuade them to build more and more passive house. Okay, for the climate zone in China, according to Chinese standard, there are 5 climate zones in China: severe cold, hot summer, cold winter, hot summer, warm winter, and temperate. The following 6 projects I will present you. 4 of them located in cold zone in north and 2 in hot summer, cold winter zone in south. And you may already know that we have also published our study for the passive house in different Chinese climate zones. And we have also other residential settlement under certification in south or in southwest. Okay, for the first part, the 3 residential projects. Yes, the first one, I suppose you might be already familiar with this project, the largest passive house settlement developed by Longhu together with Orensunda Group. And here are some figures for the projects, including the total area, and there are 16 high-rise buildings. So highest for 26 floors, about 80 meters high, and 14 multi-family buildings with different floors heights. And in the south, there are 6 villas and also 1 kindergarten of 3 floors high. And what we learned from this projects as the first time for Passive House Institute to deal with such a large-scale projects, we developed a workflow to certify it step by step. So to say, we divide the prototype and so-called copy buildings according to the similarity of layout of building plan, as well as the orientation and shading situation. We first check the prototype, and then finish with copy buildings. It's more efficient and to deal with the huge workload for certify this large scale of settlement. On the facade, there are multi-layer of insulation for aesthetic demand of the facade design from the architect. And the architect worked together with the consultant to figure out the detailed division of different part of different profile with the insulation materials. So they managed to reach a good construction control with this system. From the projects, we start to work with our partner for compactor unit solution. I noticed this afternoon, that combi system was warm discussed during our report earlier. Here, I would like to show the difference between the design ideas and the implementation. In the left, you see that in the Passive House Museum in Gaobeidian, which is also certified, that simply showed the kind of mock-up. But in the real scenario, right, what happened in the implementation for the apartment, the duct systems needs to be carefully planned and hide it then with the ceilings or decorations. So I think a further optimization will need to be happened. So for the follow-ups for real Wei City projects, as far as we communicate with the developer Longfor, at least they try to build up their beam management for quality control according to the projects, which are partly already built. And also there are some studies for this interoperable algorithmic modeling, so to call the EAM workflow with the project's data. We received one abstract for our conference this year for the multi-objective optimization on radiation uniformity of a residential community. Okay, for the second residential settlement in Qingdao Eco Park, that my colleague Chiara shortly refers to it when she introduced the settlement north of it. This settlement was developed by Frei Architect. For these projects, they are developer as well as architect. They have office in Germany and also in China, and is a very close partner of PHI. Here you can also check some figures for these projects. It's compared with a railway city project. It's comparably small with 6 high-rise buildings for 8 to 9 floors, and also 1 multi-family buildings for 4 floors, is number 7, and also with 1 kindergarten. And by the early phase, they optimize the floor plan to make the building geometry more compact. So you can see from the left side is the typical floor plan for the residential apartment. And on the right side is a typical Chinese residential floor plan. This zigzag outskirt allows actually the natural lighting and the ventilation for all the rooms with the very minimal public area, but from the aspect of energy efficiency, it's very bad. And also our partner, Frei Architect, they developed the the way, so to say, method to evaluate the summer bridge-free solution for a balcony slab. Yeah, they developed this economical evaluation study by calculation the heat loss for different variants of solutions, as well as accordingly the incremental cost. In this slides, you can see the table for comparison of three solutions. The first one, the slab, you can see from the sections structurally interrupted away from the wall. So the insulation can run through and there will be only punctual summer bridge. And the second one is the standard construction for the balcony slab, and without interruption. And the third one is interrupted, but without insulation for the balcony slab. So with the consideration of the incremental cost, they choose the most economical solution for the variant 3. Also, they choose the compact unit solution as the railway city projects. Compared with what I just mentioned, they use BIM tools or management, easier for them to organize a duct system in the small apartment. So it seems a little bit optimized in this case. Okay, the third residential settlement is the Tianjin Eco City. My colleague Beto just this afternoon shortly refers to it when he mentioned the ventilation system. This consultant is also a close partner with us. It's called Softgrade Architect in Shanghai, but it was founded by a German architect, Rolf Daimler, and they involved in the project when the design phase was already finished. They offer some significant optimization and help with the construction control with the design book. In the original design, there is winter garden for the living unit, but actually it's very bad for the energy efficiency. So they revised the design to enclose into the to enclose this winter garden to thermal envelope, and the thermal envelope has been reshaped, yeah, to include the balcony area as all year functional room. This potential weak point has been resolved. And with the thoroughly comparison of alternatives of HVAC system, it's more realistic to choose, a decentralized system, as what Beto presented this afternoon is very common in China. But compared with other two settlements, the combination to use of the combi unit, so to say the one box system, these projects develop according to the Softgrade, tailor-made combination of components with a ERV to provide ventilation with heat recovery and separate VRV for heating, cooling, and dehumidification integrated into the ventilation system. As mentioned, Softgrade also developed design books related to different key points for the quality control for passive house construction that refers to owner, Passive House Institute, Softgrade themselves, or local design institute, and the general construction party. What's in common? When we see those three settlements, the first thing that they do in common is mock-up. just earlier, right from Railway City project, it was taken by many developers in China to achieve a better quality control. Meanwhile, it's also very efficient for the developer to estimate the alternatives of incremental cost by choosing different components. And what's also in common is what we talked a little bit earlier about the kitchen issues. For the convention of Chinese cooking, there's quite intensive use of the frying up to 3 times per day, and it's grease and a lot of oil and smoke and smile. You can see from the picture between the German cooking and the Chinese cooking. And yeah, we're looking forward to the change as we discussed this today earlier when we listened to the report. But however, currently we can offer a compromised kitchen hood solution with airtight vent flips, automatic shutdown of the hood, and short circuit inlet and exhaust, and insulation make up air from the room, or possibly compensation from the HVAC system or directly from outside. There are all high-rise buildings in those three settlements. So by blood test for Railway City projects in 2018, we already faced the problem for high-rise buildings. Like take this one for example. That time we discussed for this prototype for 26 floors. The building volume is about 45,000 square meter, cubic meter, sorry. And what we just, we were asked by our Chinese partner, do we need to confirm firstly a tester plan? And maybe we need to calculate how many ventilators will be needed and how we can define the pressure difference because it's quite high. And this triggered this study based on the experience in Germany as well as in the US. I also mentioned in the report earlier our communication with local institute for blow door test in our report. I believe with more and more project experience, that will be more and more optimizations and progress in this field. Okay, the second part, 2 kindergarten. The first kindergarten located in Peking is called Oriental Montessori Kindergarten. It was designed and consulted by Beijing Institute of Residential Building Design and Research Company. It's also a very close partner of a local design institute in Beijing. And keeping in mind of the importance of building geometry, the consultant team optimized the geometry in the early design phase by working close with the design team in the same institute. You can see from the picture on the left hand and the right hand. And for the facade, they use a steel frame curtain wall with alu panels, and the exterior wall is 200 millimeter aerated concrete block plus 300 millimeter mineral wall. And the thermal conductivity is less than 0.048. And after completion of the projects last year, and the kindergarten runs through the first winter season, they made a comparison of the operation cost of a passive house kindergarten with the ordinary kindergarten. So they got this result: the annual operating cost of a passive house kindergarten can be 25,000 Chinese yuan per year lower. The second kindergarten in Nanchang, Zhongsheng Kindergarten, which I also briefly gave an overview in the report this afternoon. It was designed and consulted also by Frey Architect, as just mentioned, and locates in the warm summer, cold winter climate zone. And the design strategy diagram for the architect shows very clearly this is a compact building geometry compared with the last kindergarten. And since it's located in the warm summer and cold winter, the facade is with light or cold color to reflect the sunlight. And also you can see in the south orientation, there are big windows to gain more heat in the winter with adjustable external sun shading. Here is the facade section shows what just mentioned for the south orientation. What's in common? In both projects, the window plays a very important role in the indoor quality for the children, either for cold or warm summer, cold winter climate zone. A good passive house certified window is a must. By our report earlier, Beto showed the increasing tendency of certified windows, which help the realization of those non-residential projects. Sure, another thing in common is the ventilation component. In both projects, they use the tenders unit, and by more communication and cooperation, we think there are more and more possibilities for measurement of different heat pump ventilation system in Chinese laboratories, which is essential for those non-residential buildings. Okay, the last project, I think you already saw from our report, is one vernacular building renovation. Yeah, first of all, I would like to share a bit background information for this projects or this area. And for those of you might know, the international famous architect Wei Kuang spent quite a long time, like about 10 years, for a study about how important the countryside is. And this year in Guggenheim in New York, there's an exhibition for this study, and quoted from Wei Kuang to put the countryside on the agenda again. So how is then with China? I quoted here some information as well as projects examples for the country revitalization. According to the diagram on the left side, maybe you can see to achieve that urban countryside recirculation, rebuild that socially and economically. And one and very often applied solution is the coastal industry in countryside, which so just benefit from the natural resource in the countryside. This is, so to say, the background of and the mode, developer mode, that how these projects appear. And designed and consulted by HXP is also a Germany-rooted design and consultant company run by Chinese architects. They offer the consultancy for railway city projects in Gaobeidian as well. Here you can see the layout of these projects. They renovate this vernacular building, enclose the whole building, and separate the inside yard out of the summer envelope. That maybe you can see here. This is the yard. This is on the ground floor. And this is quite different with the traditional design strategy. to use the yard as a green space to connect inside and outside, and in the local this in a location where this project is, that can means a disaster, because with a warm, humid air constantly running through the building, that is either comfortable or very very high energy demand. Here shows some construction process. They apply the certified Ziga air tightness products, and also reconstructed the whole timber system. As Berto in the report mentioned, for ventilation, they choose the certified Innova product. One lesson that they learned, on the left side, you can see the installation of the air duct in the floor, but it shows it's quite not efficient. So they have also chances to correct it. For follow-ups of these projects, their approach for passive house renovation for this vernacular buildings gained recognition, and they're getting some more renovation assignments in countryside. And one of the architects, Sun Hui, will share the new experience in our online conference in September. Okay, that's basically all the projects sharing. Before I end up with the presentation, I would like to invite you to check our mid-year Passive House Open Day. Some of our partners made a video about the projects I just showed you. You can get more information by watching them. A small advertisement that we welcome you to join us for our online conference in September. And also submit your Passive House projects, and for the next year, the Architecture Award. Okay, that's all my presentation. We are on the way. I hope we can get more and more projects in China. Thank you.